belabor the point, but like I literally don't even know how to navigate around it here. So like you're gonna have to give me like literally step-by-step instructions on how to even navigate
Not,
around
not a
this.
problem at all. Not a problem at all. So let's start by zooming in on the plan. Like if you know where like a bathroom is and zoom in towards that, that'll get us start. Yeah, so right there. Let's just zoom in on that shop powder room.
Do
So go
that.
ahead and select either the sink or the toilet or something that we want to show in the schedule.
Do that.
Okay, perfect. Now, if you click Control T, that'll get you the element settings of this thing, and we're going to start here. Um, okay, actually hit cancel on this because it's not reserved. If you notice here at the bottom, it doesn't allow you to click OK. So you have to reserve it. If you hit Control J, that's the shortcut to reserve. And you'll see those hotspots turn from gray to black, indicating that it's now part of your local data. So you're essentially like, it's like a library card, right? Like you're checking that toilet out. You now have sole permission to edit this component of the model. Anybody
Okay.
else that needs it is going to have to wait for you to release it before they can edit it. So that's
Okay.
all we've done there. So now go back and hit Control T one more time. And then, so the first thing we're going to look at is the classifications of this thing. So down here at the bottom, this classifications and properties, if you click that little arrow here to the left of it, that might actually work. There we go. Okay, so you can stretch this bar down just a little bit, maybe. There we go. Okay, so we do have a classification here. It's classified as elements. Um, That might be okay, but go ahead and select that line that says elements.
This
Leave
one
it,
right
yeah, leave it checked though. Just select where, like anywhere else on the line. Perfect.
here. Okay.
Then click the little flyout right here. Looks like you clicked the line above instead. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so type at the top where it says search and search for distribution.
Okay. And you
Let's
keep right.
let's classify everything that we want on the schedule as a distribution flow element. I know it's a little bit confusing, but in the world of BIM, distribution elements get applied to anything MEP related. And we're just going to say our plumbing schedule is going to use this distribution flow element as the identifier. And this does two things. It says that the information, which is everything below this, that we want to attach to this thing is filtered down to just what's accessible to distribution flow elements. And it defines what that element actually is in the whole sphere of BIM. Um,
Okay.
so just kind of mark that off sort of in the back of your mind of this is what we're calling everything in our plumbing schedule. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about like toilets, sinks, faucets, uh, tissue roll holders, built-in waste bins, whatever it is that's part of this schedule is all going to be classified as distribution flow elements.
Cool. And is that specific just to MEP?
It generally speaking, yeah, that's an MEP classification, but I mean, a lot of this gets way over technical because it's the whole system of open BIM is geared towards everything from doll houses all the way up to high-rise buildings. And so there's like classifications and sub-classifications and it's way more convoluted than we need it to be. We're just going to reduce this down to distribution flow element equals plumbing schedule.
Okay.
Okay? So on here now, if we look at ID, this is going to be the primary identifier for what this thing is called. So you can just call that toilet. Or actually we talked about tagging. If there's a specific tag that you wanted for your toilet in your finish plan, that's what that tag would be there.
Okay.
So that would be
Even
the first thing to,
like the ID part.
yep, element ID is going to be what you're going to tag it as and potentially how that's going to correlate to the schedule.
So do I manually like change this? Oh,
Yeah, just whatever you want that to be tagged as in the floor plan, that's what you're going to type in there.
let's just call this T1 for now.
Perfect.
2021. Okay.
Okay, so now scroll down on this list a little bit. I'm just curious what else is in here. Scroll kind of slowly. So there's appliances, but do we have HP plumbing? There we go. So HP plumbing. So this is where you're going to type in like the item name, the manufacturer, the description. Anything that's going to show up in the schedule is going to be derived from here.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Um,
sweet. This is like way more straightforward than I was expecting.
sure.
This is nice.
there is one thing that I want to add to this list right here. So that way we could just say will show up on the schedule. It's just a really simple on-off switch that you can put into individual element settings. Because it's possible that other things could end up on the distribution flow element classification that shouldn't show in the plumbing schedule. So go ahead and say OK here.
Okay.
And go to options and property manager.
Options and property manager.
Yep. And this is the information management hub. You shouldn't have to necessarily get into this. Click reserve right here in the bottom center. But this is a really good place. Like, let's say that you're predominantly using American Standard for your plumbing package. This is where, like, under manufacturer, you can type the most common manufacturer that you're specifying, and then that'll populate project wide. And then you just go into the ones that aren't that manufacturer and change those.
Okay.
You can preset a default in the property manager, which is a huge help to like just jumping ahead in terms of scheduling whatever it is that needs to show. A lot of it, like you're not going to have like a most common model serial number, right? Because even, I mean, it's going to be all over the place. Even from room to room, you might not have the same sink or toilet specified. So, but go ahead and scroll down on this until you see the plumbing section. Right there. So click where it says notes at the end of this one,
Okay.
and then click new.
Right.
And then under property name, just call it plumbing schedule.
Okay.
And then say OK. And then change it where it says string up here in the right-hand column. Change that to true false. And we want the default for this to be false, which is correct, because we want to like manually turn on what needs to show up in the schedule.
I see. And then is this where we're talking about like the criteria for like what?
Exactly. When we look at we're about to get into the actual plumbing schedule, and we just want to set up a criteria that says if this property equals true, it's going to show up on the schedule, and nothing else matters.
Cool.
We don't care if it's been modeled with a slab, with a wall, with an object. We don't care how it was modeled, shown in the plan. We just want it to be on the schedule. So it's like this is the simplest, most cut and dry way to turn things on and off on the schedule. The last thing I want you to do though is here where it says availability for classifications. This is that filter setting. And then where it says none, change that to custom. Actually, go ahead and just check all. It doesn't really matter because that's going to include our flow, whatever terminal that we had classified it as.
So do I find that in here?
Nope, don't even need to find it. It's just this will be added to everything in your model now. So go ahead and say OK on this. And we don't even have to look at this again, unless you want to go in there and set a default manufacturer project wide. But go back into the settings of this toilet now. So Control T. And then down at the bottom of the properties and classifications, you're going to see that property added to this under the plumbing subset. So where it says ID and category, design options, renovation, scroll down until you get to plumbing schedule, and then change this one to true. And then say OK. Now, hopefully, and I'm not terribly familiar with your templates or your project files, but if you actually if you just type up here at the top plumbing, it should if there is a plumbing schedule, it should pull that.
Sorry, one second. Say that for me one more time.
So at the top of your navigator over here, type plumbing.
Sorry, your thing was in the way that okay.
And then open up that plumbing schedule. Just double click on it. And then in here under scheme settings, in the upper right,
Right. Sorry, a little zoom thing. Okay.
um, we don't, oh gosh. Yeah, we don't want to have a library tag, a library part tag for everything in the model. So go ahead and reserve the scheme settings of this schedule.
Okay.
Let's select where it says library part name and remove that. So click there and then click the remove in the center of the screen.
Uh,
Ah.
Not released, remove.
remove.
Sorry.
That's okay. And then where it says object, so element type object, click the flyout next to object and change that to any or all types.
Okay.
And then click add criteria.
Cool.
And then you could just type plumbing. We have a property called plumbing schedule, but you don't even have to search for it. So just add in that plumbing schedule criteria here.
Okay.
Say add. And most of these things should be coming from those properties, so we don't have to worry about that. And then up here where it says false, just check that and that'll make that true. Now if you say okay, we're going to see that T1 populate because it has an element ID of T1. And you're going to see all of the information that was from its property list in here. Right,
Okay,
so
cool.
there's T1. And the cool thing about this is like if you know that the T1 in the powder room is an American Standard toilet, you can type into this field directly.
Gosh,
So
yay.
you have the ability to edit directly in the schedule or in the element settings. Now you could also, like, let's say you go to the floor plan and you want to change all of your toilets together. You don't want to go line by line by line and fill out each one of these individual cells in the plan one at a time, or sorry, in the schedule one at a time, because you would have to type American Standard here, go to the next bathroom, American Standard. You can go into your floor plan, select all of your toilets, just holding shift and clicking on each toilet, and then go to the settings, Control T, and fill out that information under the plumbing schedule, and it'll populate the schedule. So you can fill out all the toilets all at once by editing them in the floor plan, or you can fill out the schedule directly, and it'll actually populate back into the elements.
Nice. Okay, cool. Easy. One thing I wanted to ask about now that we're here is like, we usually include like images with our schedules, like at least when we were doing them historically with Excel. I don't know if that's like necessary or something that we're going to keep doing going forward, but if it is, how would I do that?
So you can put images in here. In my experience, having like a thumbnail image in here, first of all, it's not the manufacturer specific image because so many of these things like the toilets and the sinks and the faucets are just boilerplate out of the box parts that aren't specific to a manufacturer. So you end up with like a 3D axon or a floor plan that doesn't accurately represent the manufacturer's design. If we need something like a cut sheet thumbnail, that'll usually get put onto the layout directly. So if you have a cut sheet JPEG or PNG, you can drag and drop that onto the layout that this will be hosted on.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that might be more of like if you're looking at like the sheet itself, right? And you've got your title block over here. You'll have your plumbing schedule that sits here and it'll say like T1, S1, whatever. And then you can have a little thumbnail here that says T1 and a thumbnail here that says S1 or whatever. So you can have that as like 3D thumbnails if that works. But as part of the schedule, it kind of overly inflates the area that the schedule takes up. So you'd see like a big thumbnail in here and then T1 and then a little information about it. And then it just sort of grows the schedule bigger than it needs to be.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Well, I think that's like not as complicated as I was expecting it to be. So I think I'm good in terms of just like adding stuff to the schedule. Do you have questions?
Yeah, could we just go through, like walk through step by step how to like if we were doing I can't think. If we were like drawing a fixture with a fill and then
Yep.
okay, yeah.
So let's go ahead and just grab your fill tool over here. And this could be fills, it could be lines, it could be whatever you want it to be. It could be objects and 3D elements. The only thing I don't recommend is using library parts. So that would be like don't model with the object tool, the lamp tool, doors, windows, stuff like that. If you need it to be 3D, use kind of this top grouping of stuff. Beams and columns, slabs, walls, all of that work great. The morph tool works great. The shell tool works great for modeling 3D geometries. If you just need it to be a 2D symbol, like I don't know, like I said, maybe you wanted to show like the P trap here under the sink, whatever that design needs to be. Just go ahead and drop a fill in here, and it doesn't even matter for right now. Just go ahead and select your fill.
Okay.
And then draw any fill in. It doesn't even matter. We're just gonna, as an example.
Don't even know how to draw, so.
You can go ahead and just say show layer. Because the layer it's on doesn't even matter.
Okay. There we go. Did it work?
Hit I know it seems weird, but hit Control Z and then Control Alt Z. Undo redo is a great way to select what you just placed. Because sometimes you'll place something and it'll be hidden by other things.
Okay, Control Z, then what?
Then Control Alt Z. So just undo redo. It does not look like it drew a fill.
I don't think you, yeah.
Try drawing it like down here off to the side.
Okay.
Just wait till.
Yeah. Wait, okay, I think I got it. Okay. I press click and then click again and then draw.
Grab your arrow tool now and you should be able to select it there. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I see what's going on there. Make this pen right here up at the top where it says 172. Turn that to like any other pen because it's just everything's white, so it's not showing anything. Click the button next to it, yeah, and then choose any black pen. Could be pen one, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so from here, to make this an object so that it shows in the schedule, you're going to select that fill. You're going to go to File, Libraries and Objects.
Okay.
Save selection as an object. The very first one.
Okay.
Yep. And then in here, it's going to put it in the embedded library. I mean, if there's a folder in here for plumbing stuff, you could put it in there. But for right now, go ahead and just call it test object 1. And then save. So now, yep, and then okay. Go ahead and delete that fill that you have there when it's done thinking about it. And then grab your object tool, the little chair icon over in your toolbox. Delete the object or delete the fill first.
Okay, hold on. It won't let me delete it.
Delete.
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, okay, wait. Sorry, it must be really slow on my computer.
Okay. Yeah, so now if you grab the object tool, it should select the last saved object. So just go ahead and click anywhere to place that object. And then if you select that object, we're going to see the same options that we saw before. So go and select and hit Control T. And then you can set that classification here to distribution element that we had. You just type distribution at the top. Distribution flow element, yep. And then down here at the bottom, you're going to see, so this would be your element ID. That's what it's tagged as. And then down about halfway on that list, you're going to see your plumbing grouping.
I'm not going to classify it right now. Like as, or I'm not going to give it like a tag. And then.
And then you would change plumbing schedule to true, and then that would show up as a plumbing schedule element.
Oh, okay, sweet. That's also very straightforward.
Okay.
And that doesn't need to be fills. It could even just be like a simple line or whatever.
Okay, cool. I think like okay, can I tell you what I'm thinking our process might be that I was talking about with another colleague earlier is that we are potentially gonna draw it in CAD just because that's super fast, import that in and then classify. Does that would that workflow work? Do you think, or do you think it would just be easier to just draw it 2D in ArchiCAD first and then?
If you draw it in CAD, it is possible to bring those CAD blocks in as new objects.
Yes.
And those could then, if they come in as objects, then yes, they could schedule. But if they
Okay.
come in as lines and fills, it's not gonna populate the schedule.
Okay. Okay. I see. Yes, right. I just
So
haven't like done the like AutoCAD to ArchiCAD workflow yet, so I just wasn't sure if that even was like.
yeah, and honestly, the AutoCAD to ArchiCAD workflow and ArchiCAD to AutoCAD workflow is always a bit of a troubleshooting nightmare every time. Just
Yeah, that's
they,
yeah.
they don't talk to each other very well.
Okay. Okay, then I might just do it. No, you don't need to hear that. Anyway, I'll blend
Now,
out.
if you wanted to tag these things in floor plan, is that something? Are you going to put like the T1 tags and stuff in your?
Yeah, probably eventually.
So the
And
method for that is if you go ahead and hit escape to deselect that object or delete the object, whatever, it doesn't matter. Because we'll just tag the toilet. So go ahead and grab your label tool now. It's this one right here. And I don't know if there's a plumbing tag label where it says annotations floor plan up here at the top. Is there one for plumbing tags?
Would it be under like a key? Or no, it's only an annotation.
Click this little button right here in the upper right corner, the little bullet point list icon. Yeah, that's going to give you all of the layers.
then scroll down to where P would be.
What?
Why are you going so fast? I can't even read.
Like key annotations?
Or if it would be like A dash plumbing, and dash plumbing, whatever. Maybe.
Do you see it?
No.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Okay.
Oh wait, there are A tags, plumbing fixtures.
Oh, yeah, it's right here.
Yeah.
A dash tags dash plumbing fixtures.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, and then just click on the toilet itself. Now go ahead and select that label that you just placed. And then hit Command T. Or Control T rather. Sorry, I forget it's Windows shortcuts. And then scroll all the way up in this upper box here for the label type. And it's just going to be a simple text auto text label. So go ahead and select that. We can leave the frame on. I don't know if you wanted a leader, you can have the leader on, but probably don't need that here. So you probably turn it off. So just go ahead and click this button right here.
Okay.
And then go ahead and say OK. Now if you double click inside of this box, there we go. Click the little A auto text option right here. And type at the top of that list element ID, or just element, it'll give you the element ID. Yep, and then click add. And then just, oh, you might want to change the font size here to like something like 9-point or 7-point font. Yep, and then if you click over here off to the side, it'll go ahead and finalize that placement. What is going on with that text? Oh, the pen is missing. Click right here where it's got that question mark.
Like click right here.
Yeah. There we
So
go.
big.
Why is that so? Oh, it for some reason it didn't change the font size. If you click right here and just make that 9-point font.
Cool.
There we go. There's also a setting here. If you scroll to the right on this info box a little bit, you can scroll up and it should pan over. I know it's weird, but like scrolling up pans over on the info box. Or hit Control T and go back into the settings. There is a setting for like how much boundary there is around that thing.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's going to be right here. So you can make that like 0.25. It can be like really tiny. Be 0. There we go. So now Now, if and when that toilet fixture's ID changes, it's going to update in the schedule and it's going to update in that tag because you've associated that to this. Now, if you hit Control Alt D, we'll drag a copy of that and go ahead and just drag a copy of it down here. Or Control Shift D, sorry, Control Shift D.
Control Shift D.
Yep, and then go ahead and click again down below. Okay, so now you have another tag right here, but if you hold down the Control key, you should see a scissor icon on your cursor, and you can click on like the sync here. Right, so now that's pulling the ID of that thing. So now this has been associated to this thing.
Okay, cool.
Sweet.
Nice. Can I delete this?
Yep.
Okay. That's cool though. Thank you.
Yep. Another really cool trick is if I want to grab the settings of this and just start like clicking on things to associate other labels. If you hold down the, I believe it's the Alt key, you're going to see your cursor look like a little eyedropper. And if you eyedrop the center of this label, make sure it highlights the label, yep, and click. And now so it activates the label tool and it makes that label's default settings the standard. So now when you go to click on another element to tag this element, for example, it's going to use that same label type.
Oh, that's making me, I'm so happy. I'm getting really excited.
Easy. All right, we love that. Okay, cool.
All right. And then it's just a matter. So I would say like the next things to do are going to be to go around this model and figure out what's already in here that needs to show in the plumbing schedule, and then just turn their properties on. From there, start to figure out what's not in here that needs to show in the plumbing schedule, and either import those as other blocks from AutoCAD. And you can copy and paste. If you open a DWG directly in another instance of ArchiCAD, you can copy and paste that line work into here. You could select that line work and save it as an object like we just did. But bear in mind that that's 2D only. So if it's something like a faucet, like a toilet, like a sink, that's stuff that's going to show up in interior elevations. It's going to show up in 3D. So if you have 2D only stuff, there's suddenly like this big disconnect between what you're doing and what the architects are doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I'm good with, I think at least like getting started, I think I can kind of follow. I will probably have lots of questions for you as I move through this, but I want to try. It's a little like out of order for me specifically. I know Ariana's at like a different skill level because she actually like can model a little bit in this stuff, whereas like I have like never touched this program and now I'm coming in to do schedules. Whereas like normally like if I learned Revit or Rhino, I would have at least like a modeling base of knowledge and like know how to work with the toolbar for like per se. So like we'll see how it goes, but I want to try to do this one in ArchiCAD.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, the more you can kind of use the Band-Aid method and just rip it off clean and jump right into ArchiCAD, the fast. I mean, it's going to be more painful, right? But it's going to be the fastest way to get over that learning curve.
Totally.
Very true. Yeah. And I feel like schedule is a safe place to start.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. And then I think like in the future, like I'll probably book one-on-ones with you by myself just to like learn how to be in it like at all.
Yep. No, I don't know if you were able to join in earlier this week, but Todd and a whole group of people were in this like, the basics program, and so I think more of those are going to be really helpful in terms of just getting it. So so I'll get this recording posted. Just bear in mind the classification is important, and then you have that on-off switch and element settings for making sure that they schedule, and you should hopefully be kind of good to jump in from into it from there.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Bye.
You too. Bye.